This is Chris KG, and today I'm going to talk about the dreaded Project Cars 2 controller configuration. Now, for those of you who play this game, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and I call BS on the developers. I swear to God they did this deliberately, just because I've been playing this game for a long time, and I've tried to fix. I went to the controller configuration menu and tried a bunch of stuff, and nothing worked. So I'm telling you right now, don't waste your time in the controller configuration menu, because you'll just end up setting it back to default anyway. I mean, if you have a specific configuration you're comfortable with, fine, keep it that way. But for those of you who play the game, you know that doesn't really do a whole lot as far as the cars messing up, you know. So we'll get to the game. I found that this car is one of the cars that mess up. So we'll get to the game and I'll show you what I'm talking about. But you know, like you'll play a game or you'll play a car, and then it will handle perfectly fine and the controlling is fine, and then you get into another car and all of a sudden it's like you're fighting with it. It's like the game is glitching out, the controller's glitching out. I thought my controller's broken for a bit, but it turns out it wasn't. You know, I tried 3 controllers on this game and they all have the same result. It's like you just pick a certain car that acts up, and it just, no matter what you do, it just wants to fight with you. And it turns out, I found out that it's actually the developers, I believe, did this on purpose, because they wanted to force users to have to use the car setup menu. I guess they figured they put time and effort into it. They wanted you to use it because most people just go pick a car, their favorite car, they race it, and that's it. So it's kind of cheap as for the developers to do that. It's like they sabotage their own game in a way. But anyway, I'll show you what I'm talking about. We'll do a drive out first. The good news is that it is a quick fix, and you'll know right away. Like you'll get, like I said, you'll pick a car, you'll get into it, and right away as you're actually in the pit lane, you'll find out if this car is going to work with you or if it's going to work against you. So if you get a good car, then great, have fun, race around. But look here, this car's pulling to the side, right out of the pit. I'm going left and right. I'm trying to counter it, and it's automatically just fighting with me, and it just drags out. I can't even stay in the pit lane. It just wants to drag out and lose control, and I'm not even like trying to turn or anything except for turning to counter whatever's being thrown at me. So now what you do when you get a car like this that's acting up, all you do is you just hit the pause menu and just go right back to pit. That's all. So we're going to go right back to the pit, and then from there all you have to do is talk to your race engineer, okay? And it doesn't matter. I mean, it seems like it's a downforce problem or something with the suspension, but what I found out, it doesn't matter if you pick suspension setup or braking setup. Like, I'll just go to the race engineer and I'll just pick braking setup, even though it has nothing to do with that. The developers are just trying to force you to go into the engineer menu to see what's available, to see what you can fine tune. But you don't actually have to fine tune whatever, like it seems like I said before, like a suspension problem. But I'll just go to braking. I'll go right here to braking. I'll just put, oh, I'm not braking in time, I'm not stopping in time, even though that wasn't the problem at all. And just go to this setting, whatever random, you just have to pick one setting, just pick it, and then save over it. I recommend saving over a pre-existing setup, because you're going to have to do this every time, unfortunately. Like, it doesn't save for the next time you play. This car is always going to mess up every time you use it, and you're always going to have to go into the race menu once per race, and go to talk to the engineer and fix it. So just pick any setting, save it, save over existing, because you don't want to type in a new one every time you do this. And then once you save it, it will fix the problem. Whatever the problem was, the car won't fight with you anymore. And that being said, if you do have things you want to fine tune, like there will still be problems when you mess up, but at least now the game's not cheating you. At least if you mess up, it's probably because of your crappy driving. Like, I mess up, you'll see me spin out too, but that's because I'm revving the engine too high on corners and I'm spinning out, so it's like I'm not being cautious enough. But at least it doesn't feel like the game's cheating anymore. Now you can see I can stay right in the pit lane. The car's not fighting with me anymore. I can drive a straight line, and all I have to do is just randomly pick any setting with the race engineer, and it fixed whatever the problem was before. So that's why I believe it was the developers just forcing you, for whatever sake, to go into the menu just to see what they had available. And here I spun out because I got hit by a car. So like, the game wasn't cheating me, that just literally happened. I got hit by a car, it's fine, you know. But I found that that's what you have to do for when you get a difficult car that's acting up for unexplained reasons. It's just going to force you to go to the pit stop and go speak to the race engineer, pick any setting, save it, and then you're good to go. And then, like I said, like I'm having a bit of trouble with this car here because it spins out a bit, but that's because of me. That's not because of the game cheating me anymore. So you could go back to the race engineer and you could actually fix a specific problem like the downforce, for instance, or the suspension. You know, maybe I'm having trouble with that, or the acceleration, right? But that's, you know, for when you know what you're doing and editing and what you need to edit. But at least now you can say I can actually do a lap. I can actually drive the car. I'm not battling with the car. Even like before, I was battling with the car on straightaways for no reason. It's just for the sake of fighting. So anyway, that's all I wanted to show you guys. Hope that fixes the problem for you and you can actually enjoy this game, because it is a fun game once you get into it. But there's so many people complaining about how the game's cheap and broken and stuff, and they were technically right. It wasn't working right, but it's not broken. It's just you have to go set it up and then you're good to go. Until next time, this is Chris, KG, and don't forget to subscribe.